just lend your ears and just listen because sometimes the person just wants to be heard.
Kia ora, mabuhay!
Welcome na and welcome to
Fika with Tin.
and Glee.
Some people are actually asking, what are we sipping?
It's just coffee. I love coffee.
And
This is
I like
coffee.
tea. Last time we asked our viewers on Instagram, which do they prefer?
Coffee or tea?
Yeah, coffee or tea.
What was their answer?
Majority was coffee.
Oh yeah, I think many people nowadays are drinking coffee, especially iced coffee.
Yeah.
Shout out to those coffee lovers out there, especially in the Korean dramas. I think in K-dramas people really drink iced coffee, and we got this kind of culture as well in Philippines, frappe
That's right.
and all these things.
Right. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, it was a nice weather this week, and I enjoyed so much of the outdoor. What about you? How was your week?
Emotional.
Yeah.
And actually, just today, I also just had my skin pen. Thank you so much to my brand, Clear Skincare, for taking care of my skin.
Wow, yeah, that's why you have glowing skin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So to those who want to visit the clinic, it's located here in Auckland.
Yes, their SGA, Signature Acne Treatment, is exclusive to them. But it's really, really effective. Anyway,
Yeah.
like what we discussed in our last episode, what are we going to talk about?
Mental health. In Auckland, in New Zealand, they say mental health, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but then because we're America, we have this Filipino English, so it's
Yes,
mental health.
mental.
What is mental health?
Yes, what
Mental
is
health.
mental health?
Well, mental health is a state of our mental well-being, right? So it can be through our feelings, actions, behavior. So what we think as well. So anything that's related to these things, they all relate to mental well-being. We're not experts, so to our listeners and viewers out there,
Yes.
we would just like to disclose this, that we are not experts, we are not psychologists, we are not trained counselors, but we're here to discuss about mental health because we would like to raise awareness, right?
That's right. It could be really like a sensitive topic, but we'll be sharing our experiences because individually we had our share
Yes.
of sadness,
Depression.
anxiety in life.
Stress, right?
Stress.
Being burned out.
Yes, that's right.
So-
and maybe from our experiences and how we really got out of that darkness at some point of our lives,
Yeah.
then maybe it could also help you.
Yes, and some of our listeners and viewers can relate to our common situations, common experiences.
That's right.
And hopefully we can also inspire others to release their tension,
That's
basically.
right. To talk about it.
To talk about it, to be open about it.
Yes, that's right. Because when the topic is really sensitive, sometimes you get so like maybe other people just want to hear happy experiences, happy
That's true.
moments, but that's not true.
You can also share bad experiences,
Yes.
negative emotions.
That's right. Because you'll never know the person who's actually listening to you also needs it.
Yeah. And sometimes just being there, listening to such negative stories or horror stories, you're helping as well that person who's releasing this tension, this
That's right.
anger. So in a way, just by listening, it's one way of helping others.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what have you
Are you
to
ready
share?
for this?
Well, who goes first?
You go first.
Okay. So for me, in my personal experience, I would say this is a very deep topic. I
that's
think
right.
death. Death really affected me mentally, especially when my parents died. So for all the listeners and viewers out there, so my father died when I was 15 and my mom when I was 19. So just 4 years after.
At really young age.
Yes, so basically, we're not really orphans, but I didn't become an orphan, but I would say that at that young age, we're not even in the adulthood or the young adulthood
That's right.
phase. It affected me mentally mentally. Death was really a strong factor why I am who I am now, like very independent, very strong-willed, and these things. But when I was remembering that phase when my parents died, especially when my father died when I was 15, then I was basically a small child, so I really didn't know how my life would turn out. Because we were just planning to go to the university. We were back then in Saudi Arabia, and my father was planning to send us to university in Jordan because he didn't want us to go back to Philippines because of the life. So he just wants us to study abroad. So that was the plan, and I was in fourth year high school in Riyadh. And
Did you feel lost?
yes, basically that was the feeling. So aside from the fact that you will not meet your father again because he died, you're lost. Like, what will happen to your life? Because I was just 15, as I've said. So I cannot really remember how I felt, but it was like, as you've said, I was completely lost. But I was very thankful because the community there, the Filipino community in Riyadh, it was a bit big. So I had company, I had support, even my school. Shout out to my previous school, Second Philippine International School in Riyadh. So they wanted to help me and my brother and I because we were there at that time. So they wanted us to stay and finish our fourth year high school. But the thing is, we were dependents of my father. So since my father is no longer there, then we had to go back to Philippines. But the school really helped us, and they gave us accommodation within the school premises where the teachers were also living. So I was very happy. So that kind of support somehow helped me and my brother to cope up with this death. And my uncle was also there, the brother of my father.
Alright.
Although he was living at that time, he's already dead now. But that time he was still alive, so at least I had a relative. The community, the family I had really helped me cope up with this one. And I actually cannot remember all the things that happened during the death of my father, how we were able to manage to go through this difficult situation.
Yes. They said that there are 5 stages of grief. Did you go through that?
I don't
Like
know.
the anger,
Maybe it was
the
not.
denial stage?
Yes, I think the denial, like why, or maybe I was at that time thinking why of all the people, my father. But
Yes.
at this age now, I could see that everything that happened for a reason. And after 4 years after, 4 years later, my mom died. So it was like, okay, again, through this difficult phase, again, a loss of a family member. So somehow I was able to manage. I was able to cope up with the same situation because it already happened to me. And at that time I was also working, so I had something to occupy myself with. And I started working full time at 18. That's why I didn't finish any degree. So I think that is one of the most difficult and mentally challenging phase
for
in my
sure.
life.
Did you have a close relationship with your parents?
Yes, of course. I grew up especially with my mom. So we grew up together with my other siblings. So we grew up together. My father was working abroad. But then after some years, we were living mostly with my father because we were living together abroad in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, I had good relationship. I didn't fight with my parents. So we basically have good
Yes.
relationship with one another.
Well, I can't imagine the pain that you went through, and seeing you honestly right now, like very strong. He's really strong.
Like nothing
strong-willed.
happened.
Yes,
Yeah.
like nothing happened, and he has this perspectives in life, principles in life that I know came from a deeper experience.
yeah.
So yeah.
What about you? I mean, I'm already done with that. What about you? Any experience or experiences you want to share?
Well, I think I have few experiences in life, and one could be like the same one, the death of my brother, which just happened last year.
Yeah, that was recent.
Yes, that was very recent, and we were also very close. I think the situation was just really too abrupt, too sudden, that we never really expected that. I never really had like death in my mind ever since.
So you were not
until-
prepared.
we weren't all prepared because my plans going here in New Zealand was with him. So
Okay.
it was really, really abrupt. And I think that is one of the most painful heartbreak that I ever had in my life. And it took me a while. And I think up until now, I'm still carrying the pain. And I think it will never like really go away.
Slowly, I think it will slowly dissipate.
Yes.
It will disappear. But I mean, it was just recent, a year.
Yes, or maybe you just really grow from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still there.
Yes.
And another one was I had 2016. It was after my graduation. So I had like this post graduation anxiety. I really don't know.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yes.
Is there such an
yes,
anxiety?
there are such things like that.
Post graduation.
Anxiety. I'm not really sure the exact term, but yeah, it's.
What is it about?
So, millennials, they feel anxiety after graduation. They feel lost. What's next?
Yes, career.
Yes,
okay.
career, what's next? Because I don't know if it's a millennial thing, but after graduation, you feel like maybe you've been like really spoon-fed in school. Everything was just handed to you. These are the subjects, these are the things that you should learn. And then the next day after graduation, it's just like, oh,
you're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, out of your comfort zone. What else are you gonna do?
Yes.
You're trying to apply, and then people are like, oh, you don't have experience. This is
That's
why I'm
right.
applying, because I need experience, but they don't.
True.
I honestly don't know why.
Yeah, but that's true. I mean, I remember there was an Instagram meme, or I don't I don't know how. But then there was one baby who was already working because after 20 years, they would like to ask for experience. So as early as 5 years old, you need to have experience. But anyway, so I didn't know about this kind of anxiety. So how did you cope up with that? Was that very difficult, or was it?
It was really difficult because I felt like the course that I finished was far from what I really wanted in my life, which was music.
Okay.
Which was art.
I see.
And I finished business management.
Completely different from what you wanted.
And then after that, so I started working in a company, and then I stayed there for 5 months, and then I had this autoimmune disease, which made me feel like I jumped to 50 years of age, body wise.
Okay.
Because I couldn't walk anymore. I had to stop driving. I had
Another anxiety. Oh my God.
Yes, I think one of the most difficult things as well is when it's about your health.
Yes.
You couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You couldn't do the ordinary things that you used to do.
I agree.
So, but because of that, I had to stay in my room for a while. I had to stay in my bed.
So you quit your job.
I quit my job. I quit everything.
Even your music.
I wasn't even starting my music back then.
Okay.
So I quit everything. I just had to stay at home, and then I started writing music because of that.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So I started to be creating music.
Is that what when you created WLPMK?
Yes, that's when I started everything. So
wow.
it's a really really big lesson for me that in every disaster there's like a beautiful
so there was a reason,
yes,
right?
That's right.
If you think about it.
But honestly, for people who are actually going through the same things right now, the most difficult things in your life right now, it's really hard to see the positives.
Yes, to connect the dots.
Yes, but then because sometimes you don't know, it takes you weeks, months, or years before you actually see the reason behind it.
Or maybe you die without seeing the reason, but there were reasons why such things happened in your life.
Another one, I also had miscarriage.
Oh my God, you have so many. She has a lot of stresses in life.
Yes. But then actually seeing you not stressed about anything, it made me realize like there will be like tons of challenges.
There's more to come.
Yes,
honestly.
that's right.
There's more to come.
It's just really in the perspective how you really deal with life now.
Yes.
But then yes, it's hard. But as what I've also learned, it's better to take the hardships now than later.
But no one knows when. I mean, for example, the death of a family. Who would like a family member to die soon, right? So we cannot really try to like that something hard will happen sooner than later, so that we will be able to learn from them. But we just have to understand that our mental problems are there. They will come.
That's right.
So I think for our viewers, for our listeners, I think one of the things that you have to understand is you have to acknowledge it, right?
That's right.
You have to acknowledge the fact that you're experiencing anxiety. If you have peer pressure, you're experiencing it. If you are burned out from work, you're experiencing it. You have to acknowledge it.
That's right. I agree to that.
Yeah.
Because when you acknowledge it, that's when the time you actually think of a solution.
That's right. Exactly. Because if you're not thinking of this mental problem or you're not acknowledging it, then you will just say, oh no, it's just how it is. But no,
Like
there will...
denying it.
Yes, denial.
Denial.
That's very true. So you have to acknowledge it and then you have to find a solution, right?
What a life. It's crazy how we can actually easily talk about everything that happened to us. So
No, these are just some, right?
yes,
We cannot...
Yes, it's crazy, right? To our listeners, it's crazy how we can just tell stories while smiling.
Yeah, but we have already acknowledged it.
Yes, but then if you're really going through it now, can you really smile about
Yeah.
it? Right?
All right. So for our listeners or those who are experiencing hardship, peer pressure again, burned out from work, or death of a family member, loss of a good friend,
Heartbreak.
miscarriage. Oh, heartbreak. That's another
Heartbreak.
topic, but okay. Yes, and miscarriage or just simply stressing yourself. Sometimes people are stressing themselves out without even thinking that it's just a small stuff and you're overthinking about it. You're stressing over something which is just a minute part of your life.
Yes.
Right? So-
I think that's easy to say, but then if you're really into that situation, nothing is big or small.
Yes.
So, this is an awareness that if you think that it's just petty, don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
Yes.
Talk to your friends.
Talk to your friends.
It does matter.
Yes. If you are experiencing such thoughts like suicidal thoughts, that's a big issue. Find help. You know, there are many organizations. If you're enrolled in a university or in schools, you have guidance counselors where you can ask help from. In the university, you also have such organizations
That's right.
that help you find your career, but also in your mental health. So they help you discuss issues if you have family problems which are affecting your studies or just your personal mental problems.
Yes.
Then they can help you. So seek assistance.
Yes. Community groups, support groups, there
That's
are also
true.
available out there.
Church groups,
Church
right?
groups.
If you're a religious person. I'm not, but then I'm just saying if you are,
I agree.
there
I agree.
church organizations and even just talking with your family, right?
Yes, or sometimes strangers as well.
Yes, true.
There are lots of online.
Dating websites. No, but that can also be a way,
Yeah,
and then you will find your partner. You'll find your partner, and then sometimes it becomes a way to release this
Yes.
anger, for example.
That's right, online platforms where you can easily share your thoughts, your opinions, everything, your emotions. Sometimes it's also better to talk to strangers because you know that they won't judge you because they don't know you personally.
Yes. I would like to add to this one as well that, like what you mentioned, sometimes it's better to just talk to someone because sometimes with friends and family, and this one, I hope those who are listening, family members or good friends, sometimes you just have to lend your ears and you don't need to give comments or suggestions
That's
because
right.
sometimes you're not even, I wouldn't say that you are not mentally stable right now, but sometimes those who are giving pieces of advice and suggestions are themselves mentally unstable. So it's like a crazy person giving an advice to someone who's crazy, then it becomes crazier, right? So just lend your ears and just listen because sometimes the person just wants to be heard.
To be heard.
That's it.
That's it.
So
Yeah, it does matter. Your ears.
yes, but clean your
Your
ears so you can listen. No, joking aside, just lend your ears, especially if you are a very good friend. Sometimes you want to really help the person, but what they want is
Just someone to be there.
Yes.
That's it. Your presence.
your presence. That's right. So,
Ooh.
wow,
That
that was a huge one.
Yes. There are actually a lot of other mental health issues that we haven't really talked about or tackled. But then again, this episode, we just wanted to share our own experiences and remind you that after all those hardships we had in our lives,
Yeah.
we're here.
Yes, we're still alive.
We never thought that we'd be giving advices about everything that happened to us.
Yeah, but that is we don't really want to give advice, but
Yes.
rather share
Yes.
just share our own
Yes,
experiences.
who would have thought, right?
Yes.
So if you're in that situation, maybe you're gonna be us someday.
Yes.
Openly,
Yes.
smiling about it, laughing about it.
Sharing to people so that you can inspire and in a way help others.
Yes, that's right.
To release any tension, anger, depression, anxiety that one has, so that you help others when it comes to their mental problems.
That's right. It's okay to cry. It's okay to talk. It's okay to rant.
Yes.
Write it out. Write your emotions. Write your frustrations. It also helps.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Right. Write down, because you're also in a way acknowledging it when you're
Sing
writing.
it out.
Wow. If you're a good singer. Otherwise, just stay in the bathroom, the toilet, singing. Yeah. I think that's about it. I think we have already mentioned many things about it.
Yes. Aside from talking about it and things like that, it's also important to keep your physical health as important as your mental health, right?
That's right. So I think for our next episode, that would be something we can talk about: physical well-being.
That's right.
Because it is really connected to your mental well-being. All
correct.
right. For any comments, you can write your comments on the YouTube,
Yes, YouTube. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram.
Twitter, and Spotify. And see you in our next episode.
And don't forget, guys, take a break.
Have a fika. Bye.